Gun rights in America have been a polarizing issue for years now. Mass shootings have been on the rise in recent years, and states are beginning to reevaluate their gun policies, including in Florida. In a state where two of the biggest mass shootings in the past 5 years have occurred, it makes sense that citizens have started pushing for change. One of the biggest issues surrounding guns these days is school shootings, and one of those very shootings happened right here in Parkland, Florida.
I'm here in front of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, the site where former student and gunman Nicholas Cruz shot and killed 17 innocent people in February of 2018. Since the tragic shooting, Florida has passed multiple new gun safety laws, and school safety measures have heightened greatly.
Since 2018, Florida has passed 3 major changes in their gun legislation. The minimum age to purchase a firearm has been raised from 18 to 21. There is now a mandatory 3-day waiting period to buy a gun, and an extreme risk protection law was passed, meaning that a person can be restricted from buying a gun for up to a year if they are deemed unsafe to themselves or others. This was appropriately named the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act. Schools in Florida have made their own efforts to keep their students safe. According to a statement from Miami-Dade Public Schools, each school now has an assigned law enforcement officer, and 15,000 new security cameras have been installed. Some people believe that these measures are appropriate, others believe they are too extreme, and certain people believe that the state's resources are going to the wrong places.
The data shows that armed guards at schools don't prevent school shootings. The whole premise that, if we have people armed, it's going to prevent, another school shooting it's just not true. I would say that we need to be putting more money into counseling and having social workers, school counselors, so that, if there's a young person that might be at risk, there's a better chance of that child or that young person is identified as being at risk, and perhaps there can be interventions done rather than just letting them kind of fall through the cracks.
While security in Florida's schools has seen a significant increase since the shooting at Parkland, not much attention has been paid to using preventative mental health measures to help stop at-risk students from committing violent acts. The lack of school counselors and other support services in Florida public schools make it difficult to monitor and intervene when students are at risk. In the case of Nicholas Cruz, many of his former classmates have stated that they experienced him engage in risky and questionable behavior, but very little was done to intervene.
We're always going to have kids that have issues, have concerns, hopefully not too often, but also sometimes we have kids who then fall into crises, depending on what the circumstances are. The school counselors then also are well trained in how to address those issues during times of crises with kids.
For many pro-gun advocates, the belief is that more security and armed guards on school campuses will lead to less violence at schools. The logic being that armed officers act as a deterrent to students who may consider acting out violently, and that one bad guy with a gun will not be effective against multiple good guys with one.
But everybody wants to feel safe everywhere you go, not only schools. I mean, you want to be safe in the mall. You want to be safe when you go to have dinner. So that's a decision that each individual, number one, and each entity will have to make at some point.
Florida's measures to bring more armed support into schools has seemed extreme to some, with some districts even allowing teachers to bring firearms into the classroom. For anti-gun advocates, bringing even more guns into schools seems like it could be a recipe for disaster.
There's the potential for, we've had some incidents already happen where a gun is left in the bathroom, a gun is unintentionally discharged in the classroom. There's the potential for workplace violence. So there's a whole host of things, that can happen.
While people on both sides of the issue have differing opinions on how to effectively curb the amount of school shootings, parents and individuals working in schools just want to find the best way to keep children safe.
What's important is that we do not bring guns or knives or anything like that to school. But it's a slow process, it needs to speed up a little bit so that we don't have to worry as much.
There does not seem to be one uniform solution to ending violence in schools. As legislators and school officials try to find the best way to keep students safe, finding a happy medium between security and preventative measures could be the key to keeping schools as secure as possible, so that both kids and their parents can have peace of mind. Reporting for UMTV, this has been Constantine Waltz.